All right, and with that, we can get started. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call. I know we haven't had an AMA in quite some time, so James is also here on the call, and we're going to be structuring this a little bit differently. We've received questions from the community beforehand, so those will be the questions that we answer after some discussions amongst ourselves and my introduction as usual, and we will then leave on a matter of structure, so you're all aware. A few questions on the call directly from our community. Now, before I move forward, I just want to congratulate you all. So I want you all to give yourselves a pat on the back because you are at the right place at the right time with the right investment, with the right project, with the right team who has the right vision, who is not going to stop in carrying this project to where it needs to go. And so the relentlessness of this team is there for you day in and day out, ensuring that your investment will grow and ensuring that our visions will come to fruition. See, from the very beginning, everything that we have said that we will do, we have done. There have been times of rocky periods, but guess what? Adversity is what challenges us. Adversity is what allows us to grow. Even the team has to evolve, and these are why we have created new initiatives. We've brought in a community manager to act as a middle management bridge. We have decided to speed up on some of our timelines for V2 and V3, but unfortunately, and I empathize with all of you, it took quite a few months of dealing with the repercussions of what happened with that previous dev team. And on behalf of the Taboo team, especially James and I, we apologize, but we also thank you all for your patience and your belief in us because we're here to make sure that we will reward all of you. So, I'm very excited to be on this call. It's been a while since I've been on it. I understand that, we had a bearish market trend for a number of months. And, the reality is there wasn't much we could do in that period of 3 to 4 months when new money is not coming into crypto, what can you do? Even our marketing spend we had to reduce because that would be wasted marketing spend. And we always say that we want to maximize on the value and the return on our investments, especially when it comes to marketing spend. But lo and behold, and my biggest belief here is that at Taboo, everything that has happened has never been through luck. We have created our own luck, and it seems that the pieces are coming together in a beautiful way. In a very short period of time, we will have the first phase of our marketplace being launched. So far, so good. It's just the intro and about page, as we've mentioned before. You will see your staking balances as well on there. And with the Taboo Punks, the DApp is completed. Everything is good to go there. We're just waiting on the final integration to add it on to our taboo.io domain. And taboo.io will be going live a little later today as well. So the first phase of the marketplace will be up. Finally, new traffic will be able to be directed to that new UI page. And at the very least, they will see tangibly and visually that a lot of progress is going on. And as we've mentioned in our communications, we always want to stay as transparent as possible that shortly after this launch, we will have some anticipated timelines for the rest of the UI and UX as well as the rest of our later developments. But I need you all to remember this. Taboo is a long term play in terms of the time span and from our inception, we are still a baby project. We're still learning how to crawl at this moment. And I need to manage everyone's expectations here. And when it comes to this investment, I understand that some people are down. Well, guess what? High risk, high reward. Volatility is the name of the game. And if you aren't willing to weather through the volatility, then crypto is not for you. And I mean that fully, right? But we are such a young project. When James and I talk about what we want to do here, we're talking in 3 and 5 year time windows. Many of you have been, talking to us in a week or a daily time frame. But just remember that our goals go well beyond what all of you can even see. And this is what is important to remember, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great the product is, it doesn't matter how great my words are. All that matters is execution and delivery. And I believe we have done that, apart from some areas of this project that we couldn't control. As the saying goes, control what you can control, right? That's in the past. Let's forget about all of that and let's move on. This is a new year and a new time for Taboo, and we are about to ramp up the intensity here moving forward so that this year is a winning year for Taboo. Let's keep it real. We went up to a 550 million market cap. And now I'm going to give you all some hard truths. If we weren't able to get up to that point through the ingenuity and the beautiful concept of our platform, from our business model to the models to all the utilities that people saw and made themselves feel that this is a valuable investment, when the market turned and we dropped the way we did, like 99% of other alts, if it wasn't for all of this, we may not be around right now. And I'll be honest. But we are here. We survived. We have now the ability to thrive. And we thank you all for being here today. But please remember one thing: selling out on an investment like Taboo is literally selling out on your futures. Don't sell out on your futures. Be there with us on this journey so you don't look back and live your life in regret. The biggest toxin and poison in life is the toxin and poison of regret. And I don't want that for any of you, because this is happening with or without you. And while we value and love our community, at the same time, there have been times where the community turned on us so much that I literally did not want to open up the chat. Imagine your own family turning on you. That's what happened, right? And I was very disappointed, and James knows about it. And I'm here to share that I don't want to deal with that ever again. Because at the end of the day, when you're invested in Taboo, you need to understand that this is a utility play. It's a tech and utility play. And for the type of technology that we're building and the use cases that we want to have in force, my God, it's not going to happen overnight. But with that being said, we finally are, and I can say this confidently, going to meet a deadline. So I'm very, very happy about that. And as I mentioned, in case anybody new has just joined the call, the intro and about page on taboo.io for our new UI and UX is going to be there later today. Taboo punks will be claimed for any wallet addresses that bought Taboo Punks, but this is the first round for the Taboo Punks. So I'll explain a little bit more closely. Believe there's about 34 or 3,500 NFTs that are going to be claimable on this Claim D app. There were some questionable cases that I had to deal with in the number of weeks leading up to this. And if anybody who maybe bought on an exchange wallet that never actually reached out to verify particular transactions, as per our old Google form, I have marked and highlighted them. And in that sense, we will find out, who maybe has not been able to claim on this D app, and we will have a small second round for those participants. What I didn't want to have happen is having people claim Taboo Punks, and maybe the wallet is not a compatible wallet to receive them, and what have you. And that would be the worst situation, because we not only lose the NFT, we have to also reimburse them on the NFT and the funds that they are now paying to claim, which, by the way, will be refunded to you. So be careful when you claim. Try to do it on a low gas fee. I will share information on how that works, but you will be refunded. We've taken the average cost. That's how we had to do it on the smart contract for what the claim cost will be. So try not to claim during a period of time when the gas is very high. You might even actually get reimbursed more than what the claim cost is. But this was the makeshift solution that we came up with. And I'm glad that we were able to do that. and I'm glad that we're finally at the place that we are now. So, those are two important updates there. As for the marketing of the Taboo Punks, this is like a brand new project for us. We are not going to start doing major marketing and all of it and play all of our hands right on the first day of launch. We have Rarity Tools right now waiting for us to do this claim so that enough users own these punks and they will be able to list us right away. We're in contact with them. They've accepted our approval on this. And James and I will continue to market the Taboo punks over time. But it is not up to us on what the floor price will be. That is up to all of you. And I believe we had a community vote here, and I believe it's 0.25 Ethereum is what the floor price what our community wants. Again, totally up to you. The Taboo Punks was designed for the community. James and I are just gonna really see what comes out of this when we launch. But the marketing hasn't even started, so I think it'd be quite silly to start selling these punks right off the gate, right out the woodwork. So that is what I wanted to share there. And other than that, there's not much else I need to share because we have a big day today, and I feel that this is a new beginning for Taboo. New beginning, new year, new birth for Taboo, and I'm proud of all of you for toughing it out. I know it's not easy seeing your investments down the way that they have been across the board. My God, even my own personal investment portfolio was just crushed at one point. But again, you're at the right place at the right time with the right team, with the right vision, with the right leadership, with the right determination, with the right discipline, with the right attitude, and we are all business minded entrepreneurs that understand that in order to become successful, you have to go through periods of tough times. And we have been through a host of tough times in the past, and again, we create our own luck. And I believe that the chips are falling into place. James, I think, will add a few points on this in a moment. I believe he's on the call. And we're very, very excited to have restored some community trust when it comes to some of our deadlines. I'm very, very happy about that. And my goal is to continue to do that for all of you moving forward. So that's all I wanted to share for now. I want to now introduce James onto the call. He's our CEO as well. I'm sure you all know that. In case any new members are on the call that don't know that, he is our CEO as well. And James, do you have any few words you want to mention before we get into questions?
Yeah, so, good afternoon, guys. It's a pleasure to be with you on this AMA this afternoon. And Majid, thank you for such a fantastic opening. So, just following up on what Majid said this afternoon, we have gone through a relatively rough patch, to say the least. But I mean, with everything that's gone on, I think we're in pretty good stead now. And I think the most important thing for us and the team and ultimately the community is to focus on moving forward. We haven't particularly, been any worse off than I could name, 5, 10 top 100 cryptos that are in a lot worse position than what we are as a project. And, we are, still small. We're still a very young business project. We're not even 1 year old yet. So I think, now really is our time to shine, to grab the bull by the horns, as they say, and do it a lot bigger and better than what we did last time round. For me, I feel that the infrastructure, the fundamentals are a lot more stronger, a lot more solid than what they were last time round. And as far as I'm concerned, Majid, myself, the team, we know ultimately what we're doing when it comes to marketing, when it comes to driving this project forward, when it comes to pushing this project. We all know where we want it to be. We're all singing off the same hymn sheet. And, now with the infrastructure that we have, the foundations, personally, I think, we really are an unstoppable force. So I'm super excited for this next journey of our project. I think, timing has actually been very good for us. It's allowed us the opportunities and, the potential to actually be able to get exactly what we want in place where we want it. I'm actually quite happy, with the sort of bearish trends that we've had and the sideways movements, which has allowed us to excel in certain areas that you guys might not actually comprehend, or what might not actually meet your eye. But this has allowed us to be in a lot more stronger, powerful position for that next, cycle that personally I feel is imminent around the corner. And let's just, make the most of that. As I always say, and as Majid and I have always said, right since day one, May, June last year, it's about maximizing that potential. And for me, now it's that time. It's all, hands on deck, and let's really push forward. Let's drive this forward. Everything's set up. You've, worked with us and you've bared with us the last few months to get this where we want to get it to. And now I feel that the time is right. Majid feels the time is right. Matt feels the time is right, and the rest of the team. And I think, we can do something very, very special here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I second everything that James has said. We're buzzed, we're excited. And we also understand, a key element of human nature, which is, you know, when it comes to a project like ours, we can't be high energy, high tempo all the time. This is not how human energy works. So I feel we really needed this period of quietness to have our community come together to see what the real floor price of our project is, you know, getting rid of all these other extraneous factors, and being at 35 million market cap as it stands. And if you look at from where we started and the rate of return that we've made since then, we are in a very, very good position as it is. And I've always said this before: dollar cost averaging is king. My God, if any of you bought at a higher price and you're not buying now, you'll be kicking yourselves in a few months. I promise you that. There are still people every day that are complaining to me in DMs why they never did these things that I shared. So, with that being said, we're trying to turn this into, a more professional type AMA format. I will take a few questions directly on the call afterwards, but we have a list on a Google Doc of questions that have been prepared that I'll be happy to go through now, one by one. If I can open up the document. Okay, perfect. So, the first question is: how has the punk claim process been designed to ensure people get their punks randomly? Well, the claim DApp itself is designed in a way where it's randomized. There's nothing we can do about that. So, just by virtue of having this DApp in place for claims is ensuring randomization. So that was a fairly simple question there. Now, next question, James, I might get you to start to throw in some thoughts on this. What massive marketing is lined up for the Taboo Punks release, and when will this take place?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I'm happy to kick that off. So, there's a few things that we have in place, and I think Majid also mentioned it earlier. We have rarity, we have some massive influences that are on the case. We have various things, just like we did when we launched uh, the project itself, Taboo. But as Majid quite rightly said, this isn't something that we're going to do right from the set off. However, at the same time, there will be marketing that's going to start. But yet again, it's about orchestrating that and maximizing the potential, ensuring that we get as a project the most amount of value that we can at certain times, as and when we decide, to press that button. So, you know, the things that you guys are familiar with, we've got multiple influences that are going to promote the taboo punks. We've got, your rarity tools. We've got your other platforms that all of you guys will know about that are just, for us, part of that natural course. And it's just about pushing those forward, opening up a whole new market for us and the project to be able to get more eyes ultimately on Taboo and the Taboo Punks. I mean, Majid, you can follow up on that. You have a few things you've got lined up, but we do have a significant, considerable budget that we have put aside for Taboo Punks, and it is six figures, and we will surely but slowly phase those in. And we have got, several things that we are going to kick that off on day one with.
Yes, yes, and I will add to that, just as a reminder, there was the CNBC, Bloomberg, and Fox News interview. We decided to put a halt on that for the reasons of, improving on our brand, having a better marketplace, more functional marketplace in place, better user design and user interface as well as experience. So, that will all be coming at a later date. But with regards to the taboo punks, we mentioned even on that initial Google form, undisclosed utilities. I mean, my God, this entire time in these last few months where we have been waiting to, maybe rectify some of the development issues that we've had, we've sped up our timelines on V2 and V3 of our marketplace. And, we will be releasing a metaverse unlike what any project has ever done. And surely I can say this with confidence that the taboo punks are going to have a special place as well in our virtual metaverse for some new utilities. So we have the ability to continue to add utility and function to the taboo punks where their value is completely intertwined with the value of our project. And this is a very, very rare thing to see. Even Rarity Tools was so impressed by us. They said, "We have never seen a project as large scale as yours that is also creating an NFT subsidiary type project within it." Right? And so they were very impressed. So this is all coming right now. Imagine 500 floors of a virtual taboo mansion. Imagine the ability to go to virtual taboo parties. Imagine the taboo punks, and we will have a special section in later updates on our marketplace specifically for the taboo punks. We have architects, we have designers, we have another development team based out of Dubai right now that is actually, as James correctly said, before, maybe our income structure and some of the fundamentals needed to be improved. They're all working on ways to ensure the taboo punks will not only hold value over time, but shoot up in a fuel like rocket ship fashion when it comes to their value and price that gets determined. So, all of that will be coming. I want to mention we did bring in probably the most iconic type of senior, I would say, creative director imaginable in the world. Former senior head of Playboy magazine. We have NFTs that he's created as a test run to create more timeless NFT art. He is here, he is working. Maybe one day I'll get him on a call as well. But there are many branches of this business that have been, I would say, been cultivating quietly in the background this entire time. So yes, the Taboo Punks marketing will be getting initiated very, very soon here, and we're very, very excited for what's to come. Now, with regards to the next question, a user guide being released for how to claim the punks. I think for a matter of simplicity, I will have to draft some basic instructions. I'm gonna get the dev that created the D app to send me some basic instructions around claiming, and I will provide on the next question, an email for any Taboo Punks related issues. But to clarify, so you will have to pay the claim fees yourself, and then once you receive the NFT, you will be receiving an Ethereum amount as per the claim amount, and this will happen automatically. We tried to make it so that we can pay that fee directly ourselves. We were working with Opel Zeppelin and some new contract standards as well. They made us a promise that it was possible, but then they pivoted against that, last minute. So I can't say that was wasted time, because we I think we've shown that we were very, very focused on doing what's right for and by the community with this. But just remember that when you claim, it's probably about $2 to $7 per NFT. You will be reimbursed for that upon receiving your NFT. Now, in terms of the rest of the MP and the new UI UX to be completed, I will have in a few short days an accurate timeline for the rest of it. So, as we mentioned in some of our previous communications in the last few days, this will be shared very shortly moving forward. But we really just wanted to get this, the punks out. We wanted to get this intro and about page out as well, and so that's what we're doing now. So good. Okay, so how closely is Taboo following the development of competitors, and are you well placed to fight to stay ahead of competition? So I will let you open up this one, James, and I will finish up on this as well.
Yeah, sure. So, as far as competitors are concerned, I think that Taboo as a project is relatively unique in terms of how we position ourselves and ultimately what we're looking to achieve as a project. Um, I think we've always pretty much been the leaders in the adult space. I think, as far as I'm concerned, we still are. And just following up on Majid's last comment, we, in terms of our ambitions and ultimately what we're looking to achieve moving forward, we have had our confidence knocked to a certain extent with things that have gone on. And because of that, that's obviously entailed, you know, things that we do have in the pipeline from Majid and I's, and in terms of the team's ideas to actually keep, you know, under our collar. I mean, there's things like Majid just quite like rightly mentioned, in terms of the metaverse and this and that and all of the other. And, I've always said, right from the start, let's not run before we can walk. But because of what's gone on historically, with the negativity and the stuff that has gone on in the chat, it's sort of not, I wouldn't necessarily imagine I are very thick skinned. It hasn't necessarily knocked our confidence, but what it has done is made us look at things a lot more reserved, a lot more, conservatively, and started to take things a lot more at a slower pace. Because as we've always said, we are a long-term project. We are here to stay. And no matter what happens, we know where we're destined to go, and we will ensure that happens without fail. But what it's done, it's just sort of given us a little bit of a kick and said, look, let's just slow things down. Let's just take things a little bit easier. But in terms of, the metaverse, our ambitions, our goals are absolutely huge. And as far as I'm concerned, to answer your question simply, there isn't much competition out there at the moment. The times that we've just gone through over the last 2-3 months, in terms of crypto in general, that sort of separates the winners to the losers. We're still here. We're still strong. We're still thousands of percent up since we launched less than a year ago, 9 months ago. We're here to stay and we're here to win. And I think you guys all know that. And that's pretty much my stance on the matter.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself with what you just mentioned, James, there. And I mean, it's never a bad idea to follow what the competition is doing, and be mindful of their plans, and how they're conducting themselves. But we're a class act compared to them, and I can say that with confidence at this time. We can't worry about competition, because in my mind we're only really competing with ourselves, James and I, and that's how I see it. And we're measuring and comparing where we are now to the progress on where we want to be at some point in the future. So those are the only metrics that we follow. In that sense, we're laser focused and we have tunnel vision, which I believe is appropriate. We don't allow ourselves to be distracted, and we surely don't allow ourselves to have any fear of what the competition is doing. I mean, my God, some of you here on this call, I mean, when we look at where we were when we started and all the steps that we've taken, I mean, there were times in our Telegram chat that competitors were paying for bots to come and attack our chat. You know, they were playing a very low class game with us. And, we did not stoop to their level ever. you know, we stayed mindful of what they were doing. And we said, as long as we put in the work and we focus on day by day what we need to be doing to carry this project forward, that we will be winners at the end. Right. And there were times where
Exactly,
nobody
and
believed in us. Not a
exactly.
single
Imagine, I
person
would just
believed
like
in
to,
us.
interrupt you there, and I think when it,
Yeah.
simply answering the question in terms of competition, I mean, there isn't really much. If you look at Majid and I, look what we did with this project when we were laser focused. We were focused on doing what we do best, which is purely, marketing this project, making the world know about this project. There is nobody better. Yes, in terms of the technical side, I could agree with you guys. We're learning. Everybody's learning in business, and every business in the world, it's a learning curve, and you have a few blips along the way. But fortunately, you know what? When it comes to the technical side of the business, you can pay for that. But what you cannot pay for is the skill set of somebody like Majid and I that really are here to stay. We will not stop. And that's why this project, hit 550 million, $600 million of market cap with absolutely, no working product yet, purely because of our commitment, our willingness. Now, you imagine when you marry that up with a technical team that is all singing, all dancing like Majid and I when it comes to marketing and, pushing this project the way we do, it just cannot fail. And rest assured that right now we are on the verge of achieving. We're not naive enough to start pushing things like that if timing isn't right. Timing is just about to come right. We are there. We are ready. We have all of our ducks in a row. And rest assured, we will make the most and maximize the potential of this next cycle. And it will be bigger, better than what you guys were, privy to on that last stint back in, late October, early November. Now we really are geared up. We have the infrastructure, we have the resource, we have the capital, we have everything, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on the topic, James correctly mentioned, when it comes to the technical side of the business, we can pay for that. And we have recognized that, what really could have maybe alleviated some of the stresses that we dealt with regards to our technical developments is having a CTO in place. Now we're still interviewing candidates, we're still reviewing who can be a right fit for that role, as we really want to have this as a one time one shot kind of deal. So that most definitely is coming, and James and I have recognized that is a crucial role when it comes to the technical side. But with that being said, we do have competent devs at this moment that are helping ensure our progress is moving forward on the technical developments of our project as well. And we will be sharing CTO descriptions next week as well. I believe Matt has some ideas around even potentially offering, since James and I really understand that we have a very bright and intelligent community. Like, we really do. We have a community council now of about 15 individuals, who are just so dedicated and loyal to this project. They're helping out on their own accord, and we're very grateful for their support. But very bright-minded and intelligent individuals. So we are considering even just opening up the opportunity, if any community member who owns a good amount of Taboo, who has been with us for quite a long time, has skin in the game, and maybe actually has the credentials to be a CTO, I'm more than happy, based on their resume and their CVs and their experience. If they are a right fit, I'm more than happy to bring someone in from the community. So we're looking into that as well. apart from our outreach and our searches along with that as well. So Matt will be giving further instructions and information around this sometime next week as well. So good. So um, yeah, okay. So, I think the next questions, the next two are basically the same. Actually, the next three, really. So, all the models that have partnered with us, they've signed contracts. Any shoots that we do from Taboo, we own the rights to those images, including all the photographers that shoot that we bring in as well. They have to give us the full distribution rights from those shoots as well. So we have contracts in place. But I really want to mention this, and this is a core belief of mine. You know, and this is actually one of I actually this is a very important point actually, and this is something that I commend James for from the start of this project. You know, we started this project with a smaller team, and thank God that we did that, because the relevance of individuals here with us at the start, they may not be relevant in the future. So we have been able to successfully bring in talent at the appropriate time for Taboo. Now, with the Taboo ladies, yes, we have many ladies that are on board with us, but I am not attached to those individuals. And I know that some of them may not be around or relevant for us at a later date. But that's where we're able to bring in new individuals, new models, and people that will be there with us on the next evolutionary stage of our project as well. So yes, we have some ladies that have been with us from the beginning, our OGs, I like to call them. But I am not attached to this, because I know that, for example, with Josh Ryan, he can bring in 100 top-notch models in a week for us, right? So I almost think that that is doesn't even need to be a big focus of us for us right now. So good. Okay, good. So now the next question is, have the team started considering the team growth needed to deliver versions 2 and 3 of the marketplace, to include personnel, infrastructure, support, servers? Do they have the plans and resources to sustainably achieve the growth? Absolutely. We have another dev team located in Dubai, Turkey, and Iran, a combination of all three with a core base in Dubai. They're handling version 2 and version 3 of the marketplace. But James and I, we've talked about this. More support is never an issue. I mean, we have another dev team that is currently working on integrating the UI and UX of our existing marketplace with the updated marketplace software on the back end. And we have this secondary dev team, which is our main dev team, that is you know working on the V2 and V3 developments. But hey, the individuals that made our back end, I mean, we may just keep some of those developers as we transition to the other dev team to continue to support in the background. So having more support is never a problem as well. And so we do have the resources, we do have the infrastructure, there is the personnel, we do have the funding, and most importantly, we are ensuring that we have a CTO that will be coming in, the head of that main dev team, based out of Dubai. He is at the moment, out of his goodwill, acting as a project manager for us at this time, because he recognizes that it's a temporary time for us, and he's filling in that gap. So we're very, very grateful for his support, and he is a longtime Taboo holder as well, and he's very, very, he has skin in the game as well, which is what makes James and I very happy. So that their interests are entirely aligned with ours as well. So good. Now, the next question is, are we planning to implement staking for Taboo Punks to generate a secondary token for spending within the ecosystem? And then I'll let James get started on the next question about Binance. So, yes, like I said, there are undisclosed utilities that are coming up for the Taboo Punks. And, we have talked about ideas like staking for Taboo Punks. As for a secondary token, we have to be very careful, because, while we have gotten legal opinions and we are considered a utility token, a secondary token makes us what's called the DAO. it can make us a security, and that can have legal ramifications. So while it's in the roadmap, remember roadmaps are just guidelines, and they're subject to change. So under further review, we will make decisions around that. But Taboo is always going to be the native token for us. And there will be at a later stage a fiat on ramp and the ability to make purchases with BNB and Ethereum and USD Tether. And even at one point, we will have credit card integration as well. This is all part of our later developments of the marketplace in terms of the versions coming out. So good. Now, okay, this next question I'll let you open up, James. We have a few left. What is the main criteria for Taboo to be listed on Binance, and is this reachable?
Okay, so yeah, I'm happy to start that one off, Majid. So yeah, absolutely, it's reachable. There's absolutely no two ways about that. I mean, it was only back in, I think, November last year, early December, where I'm happy to tell you guys, I don't mind telling you, there's a line of communication there from back then. Obviously, things didn't quite go the way everybody anticipated or hoped, for that matter. But at the same time, now there are subsidiaries of Binance that we are ultimately looking to partner with. But like I've always said, right from the word go, it's about maximizing that potential, taking those right stepping stones. And for me, it would actually be quite naive of Majid, myself, and the team to ultimately list straight onto Binance. Um, you know, at the same time, I don't mind telling you guys, the ones that we have next in line, yes, are what you've all spoken about, the likes of your Q coins. I mean, Majid, you'll even back me up on this. Go back to, I think, even before we listed on Gate, OK approached us to list on OK Exchange. And we've got numerous exchanges now that we're looking at. But for us, it's about getting those steps, those stepping stones laid out how we would like them to be and maximize the potential. Because as we've always said, it's not just about, oh, next week, let's just go and list on KuCoin and Binance and this and that and all of the other. And then what? For us, we are here to stay. We are a long-term project. And when I say that we are a long-term project, that doesn't mean that we're not going to, double, triple, 5x in the space of 1 week. We've done that. We've proved we can do that. And that's just part of the course. What I mean from saying that we're a long-term project is that we are here to stay. Our ambitions aren't, 500 million, $1 billion, as you can quite clearly see, because we've already achieved the 4, 5, $600 million of market cap. Our ambitions are to take this, to a top 20, 10, crypto project. And without fail, when you naturally become a top, 30, 20, 10, listed project, you will be listed on those exchanges. Now, for us, it's just about making sure we do maximize the potential, make those right choices, make those right steps. I mean, since we listed on Gate, which was our largest exchange that we've ever listed on as a project, we've only ever gone down in terms of market cap. So it proves, just because you list on your largest exchange, that you're not going to continue the upward trend. There are so many more variables. There is a lot more to it than just, oh, let's list on a great big exchange again. That's fantastic. It doesn't quite work like that. It would have completely been pointless to have listed, on KuCoin back in December and then, Binance in February. What really matters for us, yes, it would have helped. Yes, it would have been better than where we are now. But it's about maximizing that potential, getting the timing right. And that's when we say to you that we're a long-term project, that when you do invest in Taboo, not to expect to have a 5, 10 times that week or month. Be prepared that actually it might take you 2, 3 months, or be prepared that you might need to leave your money tied up for more than that. And that's what we mean when we say that we're a long-term project. We will do what's best for the project long-term, not what's best for the project tomorrow, next week, or the month after. And what I mean by that is, if Binance said that they would list us tomorrow, I would tell them, no, I don't want to list tomorrow because that is not what's best for us and our project.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, from day one, James was very vocal about this. Binance has always been the overreaching end goal for exchanges, and that we still have our sights on Binance, but as James correctly mentioned, it's all about timing. If we were to list on some of these major exchanges during a very, very bearish market, we would not have been able to maximize on the potential of that listing. One thing that even James is much more well versed on this in terms of funds. He's very, very careful on utilizing it in the most appropriate and efficient way possible. So, and this is a very, very important, because the funds that we inject into Taboo is meant to help with the value of Taboo and to bring us as much return as possible for that said marketing initiative or listing and all of that. So this is very, very important for us as well. So good, 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 good. Now I think there's only
I think, Majid, it'd be quite a nice opportunity to potentially open the floor to the community
yes.
if we managed to round off the questions that came previously or prior. I think it'd be quite nice to have a discussion, you know, openly with the community if anybody has any questions personally.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do 10 minutes of questions and we'll end off on the hour now. So we're going to open up the floor to questions. Please remember not to speak over each other as well. So feel free, if anyone has a question, we will take priority on someone asking it on the call first. And if nobody asks, then we'll take a look at the questions that are maybe being shared in the chat as well. So
Hi guys, sorry,
Hi,
I
Majid.
joined this a little.
hello,
Sorry,
hello. Your voice is very, very low. You might need to speak up.
can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah,
somebody else is
hello.
here. I joined late. I was just wondering a timeline for when we can expect the DApp for the punks. Sorry if this has been asked a bunch of
Right.
times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, right now the D app is completed. It's all done. We've hard coded the particular wallets on this first round of claims into this, in my mind, innovative contract that we've created, as well as this claiming platform. Now the devs that we have right now, they are in the middle of having it being put up on the taboo.io domain. So they are right on it right now to complete that. So, as I said, we're good for release later today. It's about 10 a.m. for me. So we're just waiting on them to finish that up. But we've some community council members, they've already checked some of the links on the intro and about page, and everything is good and everything is working soundly right now. The staking balances will be shown correctly as well, and the claiming will start very, very soon here later today. Now here's the thing, we understand that not everyone's going to be claiming all at once, so this is going to be a couple of days process for people to claim, and I'm aware that some people who maybe didn't correctly verify some of their transactions from the old Google form, maybe they bought on a centralized exchanges, they will make sure there's an email set up for them, because again, if your wallet was not added into this, you will not be able to claim directly from the D app. But yes, this is where we're good on timelines as it stands. So just bear with us so we can get this up and running, and then we can move forward to our next steps, which
Yeah,
is the
and
rest of
just
the
to follow
IMA.
up on that, guys, from the first question that I think was mentioned in terms of the marketing that's lined up for the Taboo Punk. So when Majid quite rightly said, we have lots of marketing lined up that will slowly but surely gradually be filtered in to the Taboo Punk's marketing. That isn't to say that we don't have anything lined up from the off. So I can already tell straight away, soon as the DAP form is live and people are claiming punks, marketing will be underway immediately. I mean, you guys know better than anybody. That's Majid and I's forte. That's what we do best. And rest assured, marketing will start on the Taboo Punk simultaneously, but it won't all just happen at once and come at once. It will be gradually filtered in over the next several days, weeks, months, etc. But right from tomorrow, you will start seeing Taboo Punk marketing, and you will start seeing a lot more eyes on Taboo as a project overall, because this is what Majid and I specialize in. And this is when we come into our own, and we wouldn't let an opportunity like that, slip by. So you will start seeing the Taboo Punks being pushed imminently as soon as you start seeing people claim them.
Awesome, thank you. And just a quick follow up.
Absolutely,
Will
absolutely. And I think I'll answer this one question that was asked in the chat. It said, "Do you ban OFAC and FATF sanctioned countries in future, or will you open up as a DEX in Web3?" That's a compliance question. So the answer to that is, when we open up our entire DeFi suite, we'll have to geo restrict whoever whatever country we will need to protect ourselves and our projects. So we're always going to be following the legal bounds of the laws within various countries. We're never ever going to skirt away from that. It's not relevant for us at this moment in time, but of course we will address that when we get to that stage as well. So good. Are there any other questions on this call specifically? We have a few more minutes here before we wrap up.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yep.
Hi, Majid. Thank you for your work into your team. And a question. You said you want to change the percent of staking rewards. Will
Yes.
you do this?
Yes. What about
Will
what about the
you,
staking
yeah,
rewards?
by increasing or decreasing it?
No, no, no. We haven't decreased it. It's still 16% APY. In fact, actually, these devs correctly pointed out that based on, I mean, again, I'm not a mathematician, and as well, the 16% was actually 14.8 is what I found out based on how APYs are structured but they've corrected that and they've updated all the staking balances to reflect
No, Majid.
16%.
I think what Mr. T is saying is
Yeah.
I mentioned to you that I would like to give a loyalty bonus to our committed holders that have staked for the past
Yes.
several months, and that will continue to do so. There was something that was mentioned in the chat several hours ago, or in fact yesterday, that basically said that the staking APY could change for the loyal holders. So, in answer to your question, Mr. T, yes, Majid and I are looking to come up with something to reward our loyal, committed stakers that have staked, since the market, before the marketplace was down. And rest assured that we will reward you guys. We're just talking with each other, Majid and I, about the most viable way of doing this. And I don't want to let anything out yet until we have the conclusion that's viable for us and that is also good for you guys, as a gesture and a thank you from Majid, Matt, and the team to you guys to say, thanks for your commitment through these, not so great times.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Thank you for clarifying that. I wasn't able to hear him too well there. So good, great.
Thank
So
you.
we'll take
Thank you a lot.
we'll take one more question, and then we will wrap up.
Hello, Majid.
Hello, hello.
Do you agree that that the community raised the price of the Taboo Punks NFTs, like using some tricks as other NFTs like Ape?
Um, you know,
We
okay, so
just yeah
yeah. So
yeah
again,
we
I
just
I
choose
do
the
not believe.
floor.
Yeah, I do not. Again, James and I have absolutely no control over that floor price. Now, in terms of methods in inflating the price of punks, I'm not privy to be doing any of that. I'm sure James would agree. I think that the floor is going to be whatever the floor is, and I think people need to recognize that is just the absolute beginning of our journey in cultivating more value on the punks and to allow them to have even more revolutionary use cases and utilities that are tied to our project's utilities itself. So, to answer that question, no, I'm not here to be doing tricks to do this, but we will be adding. We've talked to some of our council members. We're going to be adding a section on the Discord. Think of it like a P2P type kind of discussion platform where people can sell amongst themselves, and the community can hype each other. You guys can all rally and work together on keeping the floor price at a certain price. That's up to you guys. So yes, you do have power and control there, but we are not the ones that can directly impact that. Does that make sense? All we can do is continue to market, as James said, and continue to do what we can to make the punks a worthy enough investment for you all to keep holding. But at this beginning stage, it's all up to you. That's all I can. That's
Yeah,
all I
and
can
I
say.
think something that's important to bear in mind there is a couple of things, such as Majid mentioned earlier. There are undisclosed utilities that essentially Majid and I will be introducing when we feel the time is right. And ultimately, I think the Taboo Punk floor price, is very similar to when we launched the projects, you know, token price. We've never manipulated that. We don't manipulate the token price on exchanges. And as far as I'm concerned, that's why we are so successful, and that's why we are so strong right now in these difficult times. And I think that should also be the same for the Taboo Punks. It's not our duty or our job to try and manipulate the Taboo Punk price. It's down to you. And that's how Majid, I, and the team have always ran this project. We've left it to you guys. And I also think that's why it's been so successful and excelled so well, because we don't try and influence or manipulate the price. We just get down to work. We focus on what matters, and that is marketing, 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 not trying to, manipulate the price or give some, false price, floor price for a 24 hours or 48 hours that you, I, and everybody knows isn't really the case. And that's something that, I strongly don't believe in. Just like market making, this, that, and all of the other with exchanges. So, that's something that I won't actually participate in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Very good question there. And that was a perfect segue to conclude that question, as well as wrap up the call. So, again, on behalf of the core team at Taboo, we thank you all for being here on this call. If there's anybody that, was unable to attend that is an investor on Taboo, make sure they tune in to our YouTube channel, which, where we will upload the AMA as we always do over there. And again, you know, again, I want to mention, and I want you all to give yourselves a pat on the back yet again, because as I said before, you are at the right place at the right time, with the right team, with the right leadership, with the right vision, with the right fundamentals and structures in place to carry this where it needs to be. And we are nothing but thrilled to be here right now. Where James and I are buzzing. We have so much more that we're can't wait to share with you all. And this is really the beginning of our journey together, because it is a new year and it is a new time, and this is going to be Taboo's year, and it's going to be a fruitful one. So again, thank you everybody for being on the call. We'll touch base soon, and we'll provide more updates on initial stages of our MP launch. As you all are aware, will be happening later today, as well as the punks and claiming, so that you can finally receive what you've been all so patiently waiting for to receive as well. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah. And just to follow up on that, guys, I'd like to say thanks. And as far as I'm concerned, I see us, we are back where we were, the beginning of October, when we were $3 million of market cap. This, for me and us and the team, is the start of that next cycle. And, make the most of it. Take advantage while you can. Like Majid and I always said to back when we were $1, $2, $3 million of market cap, we have some great things up our sleeve. We won't stop. We won't let you down. And this is going to be something very special. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Majid. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for the Taboo team. And I look forward to, the next several weeks to really embrace this, work together, and let's do something special. And let's get down to business. Thanks, guys.
Thanks again, everybody.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.